Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a extreme makeover on this dresser. It is laminate with 6 drawers, all on metal tracks. And you can see it's in pretty rough shape. It's definitely functional, but it's a little rough around the edges. So we're going to clean it up and make it all new. So let's get started. I'm going to start by removing the hardware. The screws were in super tightly, so you can see I kind of struggled a little bit on that first one. And after removing all the hardware, I'm going to be cleaning using Dixie Belle's White Lightning Cleaner. And something interesting about this dresser was that the fronts of the 2 top drawers were only attached using the hardware. So once I removed that hardware, the faces actually came completely off. So I had to clean those separately. And now I'm just going to go over the rest of the piece with that cleaner. And as always, I'm cleaning the inside of the piece as well as the inside of the drawers. You just always want to get a good clean on the entire piece. And here's how the water looked after wiping it down. And after using White Lightning, you always want to rinse it with clean water, so I'm going to be doing that. And now I'm going to use Dixie Belle's Slick Stick Adhesion Primer to make sure that the paint adheres properly to the laminate. Since it is not solid wood, I'm not going to be sanding it down first. So I'm going to be using this primer to make sure that the paint has something to grip to. And I'm just applying that with a dense foam roller. And I wanted to make sure that the paint really stuck to the top, so I did 2 coats on the top and 1 coat on the rest of the piece, and I let that dry overnight so it could cure properly. And after applying that primer, I'm going to smooth it out using 320 Grit Sandpaper on the entire piece, including the drawers. After sanding, I'm removing the dust with a cloth. And then a tack cloth to get any remaining dust left over. Now for paint, I'm going to be using Dixie Belle's all-in-one mineral paint in the color Saltwater. This is a new paint to me. It is an all-in-one paint, meaning it has a built-in primer with stain blocking as well as a top coat built in. And I'm going to be applying that with my Zibra brush, and I'm going to be applying it in one direction as much as I can. And this paint self-levels really well on its own, but you do want to make sure you don't overwork it. So while it dries, it levels by itself, but if you are running the brush over it too many times, it will dry with those streaks in it. And I definitely took my time doing this. I wanted to create as smooth of a finish as I could. So this is sped up, but I really did take my time to make it as smooth and neat as possible. And as you can see, I am dipping the brush into the paint, and then I'm scraping the flat side and leaving the paint all on one side. That was a tip I got from Crys'Dawna from Renovare. And as you can see, it worked really well. It makes it go on super, super smooth. And now onto the second coat. I wrapped my brush in a plastic baggie to prevent it from drying out so that I didn't have to wash it in between. And same thing, I am applying it in straight lines all in one direction as much as possible, trying not to overwork it. And then here's that second coat on the drawer. I am dipping my brush into the paint and then wiping one side off. And you can see the coverage is pretty good, but whites always do take at least one more coat than any other color, at least in my experience. So even though I did do one coat of primer on everything, I did need to do 3 coats to get full coverage. So here is that third coat now. This is a great color to use if you like bright whites, but with just a hint of warmth. I wouldn't say it has a lot of warmth to it, but it's definitely not a cool toned white in my opinion. It has a touch of warmth to it, so it has a really, really crisp look to it, which I'm obsessed with. And my favorite thing about this paint is probably that it does have that built-in top coat, as well as the stain blocking primer. So once you're done painting, you're completely done. Unless you want to add any embellishments or gilding wax, anything like that, you are completely done. You don't need to seal it with wax or clear coat or anything. If you want to, you absolutely can, but it's not needed. So I just love that about this paint. And here is that third coat on the drawer, just to show you what that looks like. You can kind of see here how close it was to full coverage, but I just wanted to make sure that it was absolute full coverage, so I did a third coat on everything. One thing I dislike about using cup pulls, I love cup pulls, don't get me wrong, but the screws do not screw in very far into the actual pull. So you either have to have the exact right length of the screw, or you have to cut them down, use shorter ones, or washers. So what I had today was washers, so that's what I'm using. And now that it's all finished, just want to remind you what we started out with. Super old 70s style laminate dresser with gold hardware, really beat up. And here's how it looks now. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this makeover today. I hope you'll check out some of my other videos before you leave. And let me know if any of you guys have used Silk all-in-one mineral paint. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Or if you have any questions on how to use it, make sure to leave them in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.